All right, folks, an absolute beautiful day here in Northeast Tennessee, and you are looking at the world's smallest septic system. And if you want to see how I put this thing together, well, that's another video. But you'll probably be fine just watching this one. But search for that other one if you want to see me actually do it. Very simple, and I may or may not explain that thoroughly in this video. We'll see. Anyway, folks, so this isn't to code. This isn't to code, but code isn't everywhere, so that's a good thing. I like thinking of this as more of a temporary. Now, we're going to take the camera and look at everything in a minute, but I like to think of this as more of a temporary setup, but this can be permanent. This is for a tiny house, a RV, an emergency of some sort where you got to have something. This will handle a toilet, not wash machine and sink and all that. If you constantly use the sink in something like this, it would eventually just saturate the whole area, and then, you'd have to move it. So this is for a toilet. Toilet is usually 1.5 gallons of water, and this will handle that without any trouble. It will handle probably 5-6 flushes a day. Now, you're not going to be digging. You're not going to be digging with an excavator unless you have one. So you can dig as deep as with a shovel, as deep as a 5-gallon bucket. That's all you need. So I got a huge hole here. You don't need this huge hole. As deep as a 5-gallon bucket and as wide as a 5-gallon bucket, and however long you want it, folks. However many. Half of buckets that you want, however many pieces of chamber, we call these chamber, that you want. Okay, so everything's underground. You got to picture this, top being right at ground level. I'll show you the lid. The lid's over there. You can lift the lid and maintain it or do what you got to do, make easy access. So remember now, you don't have to spend a bunch of money buying grommets and washers to fit these holes here. This is underground. This thing works off of seepage. So in other words, it seeps into the soil. So there's nothing wrong with the bottom of this hole leaking, which it won't, and the bottom of the exterior or the outlet hole leaking, which that will. Just a little bit. It'll just dribble out just a little bit. But it's in the soil. You'll never see it. You'll never smell it. It's under the ground several inches. This one here on this side will be, 6 inches under the soil or whatever. It goes down. It won't come up. It's not that much. Where your pipe goes in to the chamber here, in this area here, you might want to caulk that before you throw dirt on it, or just throw a piece of plastic around it. Wrap a Walmart bag around it, just to keep so much dirt from falling into it. Now, these are 5-gallon buckets cut in half. I've got them overlapping just a inch or so for strength purposes, and we'll go through all of that in just a minute, maybe. All right, so now I've got a 3-inch pipe coming in, and I've got a 2-inch pipe going out, and that's perfectly fine for a toilet. It's not the code, it's not how we do plumbing, but in this situation it's perfectly fine. Reason we did that, you could put a 3-inch T in here and have a 3-inch outlet pipe, but that doesn't leave you any room for your cleaning out of the septic tank. We're going to call this a septic tank. Doesn't leave you any room for that. So we go with a 2-inch. Now, if for some reason that you flush the toilet in 1.5 gallons of water, the 2-inch pipe won't take what that 3-inch is giving it. It's only going to do that for a couple of seconds. And but we've got room in here for the water to rise up a little bit until the 2-inch can take the water. And I'll show you how we did that in just a minute. So think of it more as temporary, but it can be permanent. Now, if you're in, let's say you're in a tiny house, it's on a trailer, you got it on Uncle Bismarck's property there, and he really don't like you all that much. So you don't want to leave a huge footprint, and you're just there for 6 months, and so you're not going to get an excavator and put a full system in. You're not going to want to put 55-gallon drums in because it's too big, it's too much digging. It's going to mess up Uncle Bismarck's yard, and that's where this comes in perfect. Once you're done with all this, it's just a little bit of digging. Pull it up, clean out the tank, of course, but pull it up and throw it all in a trash bag. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about cleaning this out. So let's talk about the usage. So let's say this will handle 6 flushes a day. Well, for 2 people, that's plenty. You're living in a tiny house, you and your buddy, and you guys take these huge dumps. I mean, you just, you got turds as big as a watermelon. So in that case, what you're going to want to do is probably wipe your butt, put the toilet paper in a bag, have a bag designated for that. Maybe it's a Walmart bag, and every time you go poop, and most people poop once a day, so you just throw your toilet paper in a bag, and you tie the bag up, and you got a trash can outside just for that, and you throw it in there, but your poop comes in here, and it's poop only. If you do that, you'll only, even with 2 people, you'll only have to clean this out. It depends on how much you poop and how good your bacteria is working in this thing, but probably only have to clean it out once every 3 months to once every 6 months. That's if you put your toilet paper in a bag. Now, the old timers used to do that. It's not as gross as you think. There are some people that still do that. They won't put their toilet paper down the septic tank, and that's a good thing. Something I wouldn't do, but it's a good thing. Now, if I lived in a tiny house, I would probably do it. Well, I wouldn't, because this is the kind of work I do, septic work. But it's very doable, folks, very doable. So, okay, so let's just say it's just one person. She doesn't eat a ton. And okay, so what she can do is she can actually toilet paper and poop. I mean, toilet paper in there, no problem. If it's one person and they're flushing the toilet paper down the toilet, of course, with the poop will always go in here. Then you'll clean this out maybe once every 3 months, once every 6 months. If you use Scott's toilet paper, it breaks down, folks. It breaks down. It doesn't matter that you use twice as much. It's still going to break down. Going to take a lot longer than 3 to 6 months, but it will break down. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, that's up to you. Now, to clean it out, we're going to look at it in a minute, but to clean it out, you can have a designated shop vac, and it'll only have to be a 4 or 5 gallon shop vac, and you can suck that out, and you can roll it over, and let's say you can dig a hole, dump it in the hole, cover the hole back up. Probably not something you want to do, so you're better off putting your toilet paper in a bag so you don't have to do that too often. And then when the time comes when you do have to clean this out, hey, for some folks, you'll be able to go a year without having to clean that out. But you'll just simply scoop it out. Go bury it somewhere. It turns into soil. Even the toilet paper turns into soil. So, yeah. Yeah. Another thing you can do is put it in a big, thick, black construction type garbage bag that won't rip. That's why I say construction type. And you could set the bag next to this thing when it's time to clean it out, and simply scoop it out and put it in the bag and throw it in the trash can. Tie it up super good and throw it in the trash can. I mean, you can dispose of your waste. And so, yeah, it's very simple. All right, let's take a look at it. I've kind of explained all I can explain here. All right, so let's see how I put it together. All right, so for the 3-inch hole, for the 3-inch pipe, I used a 3 5/8 hole saw. For the 2-inch pipe, I used a 2 5/8 hole saw. All right, got it. 3 5/8 for the 3-inch, 2 5/8 for the 2-inch. We don't care that there's cracks here because that's how it works. All right, folks, this is it. So we just simply drilled our hole. Okay, so let's go over this. All right, you want this as high as you can get it. See there? I left enough room for the lid to go on there and not hit that pipe. See that? Now you can cover that with soil. Don't cover it too deep. You want to be able to just scrape it off with a hammer or something and lift the lid and enjoy cleaning it out. All right, so the bottom of this 3-inch hole, this is the incoming pipe. This is coming from a high rise from downtown Atlanta where there's 563 people living in the building, all going into the 5-gallon bucket. Yeah, okay. All right, so the bottom of this hole that I drilled for the 3-inch pipe has to be higher than the 2-inch pipe going out. It has to be higher, folks. All right, so I put this up as high as I could without interfering with my lid. Okay, so you see now this would be pushed all the way like so. All right, so the hole for the 2-inch pipe, is about an inch or so lower than the bottom of the hole. Let me say that over so you understand. So the bottom of the hole that I drilled for the 2-inch pipe, you can see it in my other video. The bottom of the hole that I drilled for my 2-inch pipe is about an inch or so lower than the bottom of the hole for the 3-inch pipe. Believe it or not, 3-inch going in, 2-inch going out. This will handle that. That's okay. This isn't for a wash machine. This isn't for a sink. It's for a toilet. All right, so the poop and toilet paper and all will basically float on top. Poop will eventually settle in the bottom, and so you got all that room, and plus it kind of, bugs eat it and bacteria take care of it and all that. But so the stuff that's floating on top, boom, 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 it can't go out the pipe. So the liquid is floating in this area here, pure liquid, no particles, comes up and then goes out. I've got bees all around me, folks. All right, so yellow jackets, man, they're crazy. All right, hang on. I'm fighting bees. All right, so you understand that. Now this, we got this on here. It's just like a 2-inch that I cut and stuck on here. The reason for that, you don't have to do that, but the reason for that is because I want, and we can still put our lid on and this can still breathe. Still put our lid on and this still gets air. That's important. This has got to get air. And so I let me just show you. It's perfectly fine. But I did that. I just wanted another 1.5 inches or so, just in case that water coming in here, it's too much for the 2-inch to handle. Then I have room for the water to rise up. It'll always go back down to rise up with that sudden gush. If it rises up, it'll only be for a couple of seconds, but then my poop won't overflow and go out. It'll just stay here. It'll hit, and until it goes back down, the water level goes back down to where it should be. It won't flow over. All right, so this will work just like it is. I don't care what anybody says. Now, I don't have anything glued here because this is just for video purposes, but just remember this: your dirt is going to hold all of this steady. It's going to hold it all steady, and so you won't have to worry about that. It'll be all held steady by the dirt. All right, folks, remember, Walmart bag or something around this to keep the dirt out, or you can caulk it, but you know, Walmart bag works good. All right, so this is a 2-inch, this is a 3-inch pipe, this is a 2-inch pipe, this is a 2-inch pipe, this is a 2-inch 90, this is a 2-inch sanitary T, and we're not going to put nothing on the bottom of that. All right, so my buckets, I simply drilled with a 2 5/8 hole saw right here. This is setting in there only about 1 inch. It only goes in there about 1 inch. 2 inches is fine, but I would say 1 inch or, you know, a 1/2 inch is fine that it goes down in there. We want everything to flow downhill. Poop and water flow downhill, folks. All right, so let's take a look at these buckets. I used a Sawzall. You can use whatever you got. And I just simply, folks, cut a bucket in half. This is a bucket. This is a bucket. And this is a bucket. Well, let's leave that one. Let's leave that other bucket. We don't want to. Bucket. See? Okay. All right, so let me back up. I simply cut a bucket in half. Look, I mean, it's just cut in half. Now, before you drill this hole, go ahead and put this on there and overlap it just a little bit, just enough to give it some strength, folks. And that you don't have a crack in there for dirt to fall in. Not that it would kill anything. All right, and so then I drilled me a hole in the back of this one, in the top, as high as I could get it in the back. And the reason being is because when these 2 chambers, we're going to call them chambers, fill up with the liquid, guess what, folks? They'll fill up and then they'll flow out this hole. And we put this on there. We overlap her just a little. And it's a chamber. It's a chamber. And we throw dirt on top of it. Nobody knows it's there. You don't know it's there. You don't smell it. You don't see it. It's awesome. It's awesome. So if you want to see me make it, you got to search and find that other video. I'm not doing the link below thing. I don't do stuff like that. I'm a Christian. What? Anyway, folks. Yeah, so cool. No? Maybe? Kinda? We do have a glare. I don't know why. So I dug the hole with that. Goo. I could have used the little John Deere over there, but why when you got the big beast? All right, I'm turning it over this way just because of that glare. So in that other video of me making it, that glare is there. The glare is there. Anyway, so you see it, folks. Take a gander at her. She's awesome. Think of tiny house, RV. So you pull in the ORV up to Martha Hublubs, and she doesn't like you a whole lot, but she likes your husband, so she's going to let you stay there, and hopefully they're, cool. Don't do anything they're not supposed to. And so you put the camper in. She doesn't want you messing up her yard, putting in some kind of crazy septic system. You don't want to have to use her house because it's uncomfortable, because she's got a crush on your husband and, all of that. And so this is what you do right here, folks. It'll take care of you. In a situation like that, you can let you shower in your shower in your sink. Sinks run on the ground, and I've got a video. It shows you how to make a grease trap / gray water system that'll clean that water. You'll have to search and find it, the Appalachian American YouTube channel, and just go down to the most popular videos, and it'll be there. Or just Google it. Or Google it. If you Google it, it'll pop up. Gray DIY grease trap, gray water system for your RV. YouTube it. But anyway, so yeah. This is perfect. This is perfect. You dig as deep as a 5 gallon bucket, and that's all you got to do, and as wide as a 5 gallon bucket, and that is however long you want it this way, folks. You can do 100 of these. I mean, it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So if you wanted to run a, let's say, everything but a wash machine, I don't think you'd ever get this thing to handle a wash machine. But let's say you wanted to run everything but a wash machine off of it, I believe it would handle it if you did probably 20 of these. And you don't have to do them all at once. You can do them on a Saturday every now and then. Add 3, add 2, and you could keep on going. But this is awesome for Martha Hublub's house because she doesn't like you. She don't want you leaving a big mess. And then when it's time to go after 6 months, you can simply go out there with a shovel, folks. First you clean this out, then you go out there with a shovel and you disassemble this. You throw it all in one big trash bag and put it in the garbage. And the dirt that you dug out, you set it on the wood line over there by the edge of the woods and covered it up with a tarp. Simply get a wheelbarrow, bring that dirt back, and put it right back in the hole. So this is awesome for that sort of situation. Anyway, folks, the Yellow Jackets, they're wreaking havoc right now. They love freshly dug soil. Anyway, folks, this is it. We'll see you.